Hello, Mr. Ram. One of the topic that is decreation. The decreation basically we are discussing about the future creation. So one of the person told that how the future basically are decided. Basically. How the future basically are decided. How the future basically are decided. So one of the person told that this way the futures basically are decided. This way are the future basically which is decided. Basically. This way basically the futures are decided. One of the percent from this basically multiplication basically do you think basically that the Mumbai the sea water basically is going to attract? How you can say that basically? This is the 100% basically formula which is 100% going to attract the sea water to the towards Mumbai city. Then basically he told that basically for that basically special basically the city is created in the Italy basically, that basically say that basically we are sending the power supply data to the Italy city, which power supply basically we are going to pass to the Mumbai city. So one of the person told that basically whenever the power supply basically the Mumbai city gets na basically they are checked in the Italy city basically that really basically it gets attract or not basically that. Then basically they sends the attraction data also, and then basically they say attraction, and basically you can say which word basically I should take basically disconnection data basically also you can say de-attraction basically is not there basically, so I will say discontinue basically attraction, or basically say you can say disactivation basically data basically. So they basically checks both data whenever basically the city is going to attract towards Mumbai. So like this basically there is lots of expense basically in Mumbai city basically. One of the person told that 12 lakh crore is there na basically 12 lakh crore basically dollar basically, that basically is from that basically they are covering this everything basically. Reason Mumbai city is basically the root of the India basically. If anything basically happens to Mumbai city, then basically entire India is going to suffer basically. Entire economic is going to suffer basically of the world basically. Sorry, not the world basically, because world basically don't depend on the India basically. They basically don't depend on the even basically USA basically don't depends on the India. Previously they were depending, but nowadays basically USA also basically don't depend on the India basically. So like this basically things are there. So one of the person told that this thing basically just now basically you were discussing basically that America people basically might be knowing 100% they might be knowing na basically, because Italy basically is doing this activity basically through how basically they are doing basically. So there are certain superpower computers basically, then the uh, superpower servers basically are there. They are basically doing this everything, and server basically means equal to what basically, server equal to USA basically, software basically equal to USA, and hardware equal to China basically, and power supply equal to India basically, and India connected country basically, that basically you can say as a UAE also basically, UAE also basically. So one of the person told that like this also basically the data is not going to attract, because even basically you are taking the satellite data also basically, then also data is not going to attract. So one of the person told the satellite group also basically don't have power basically, which basically can attract the entire sea water, that is the 1 kilometer area basically sea water into the Mumbai land basically. That is not possible basically. So one of the person told that basically then basically how the sea water will get attract basically. Yeah? That basically was question basically. Yeah? Basically, if satellite also basically can't attract even the new this basically data basically is depend on this everything data basically. But here the thing is when this basically gets connect basically to the this entire data basically, there might be some basically data na basically which might be connecting to the Mumbai land. Then he told that basically need to think basically when basically they gets attracts basically, because it's not possible basically. One of the satellite person told that basically even basically we can't do this thing basically, because all condition basically are must basically, all condition basically are must, and after all condition only basically the Mumbai city basically gets attracts towards the Mumbai land. So one of the person told that basically see basically the earthquake basically. See basically Germany basically who created the Gujaratis. They also basically has been created, basically. That basically we are going to. Few people say that basically German group are created by Uttar Pradesh. Few people say that is created by Madhya Pradesh. Few people say that is created by Biharis. So what is correct basically we can't say basically. Reason Sanskrit and Tamil basically is the root basically of the. So whenever the world is going to end, basically. So these two group basically will be responsible. That is, one is Tamil group and another is Sanskrit group basically. These two will be the responsible group basically. It can be one person also basically. It can be one girl also basically from the Tamil group basically, who will be responsible for world end. It can be Sanskrit girl also basically. It can be Sanskrit boy also. It can be other than girl and boy also basically. So here basically I am just taking as an example basically. Nothing else basically is connected with this basically. So one of the person told that even this entire thing basically is not going to attract to the Mumbai sea water basically. So one of those satellite person told that basically we will discuss this later on basically, whenever the sea water basically is going to attract towards Mumbai city basically. Till then basically you can continue with other topic basically. Till then basically you can continue with other topic, that is vitamins data basically. That is vitamins data. So one of the person told that vitamin A basically is created by this all group basically, and here basically the blast basically data is created basically. Here the blast data is created. Here the blast data is basically created. Blast data is created. So one of the person told that blast data basically, but this everything basically seems to be magical basically. That is not possible here basically. I think are you sure basically you are telling that through vitamin A basically this group basically is creating where the blast is going to happen. That also basically from the public body parts basically. That is from public bodies basically. That is practically that is not possible here. One of the person told that also basically. That is not possible. Practically, are you sure basically? This type of data basically blast data which where basically in 5 kilometers data basically the blast is going to happen. Within 5 kilometer area the blast is going to happen, and within 5 kilometer the data is going to collected by this vitamin and this data basically. Then one of the person told that yes basically that is practically 100% correct basically. Few people say that basically this seems to be magical thing here basically. How that is possible basically from one vitamin A basically this all group basically collects the data of where the blast is going to happen basically. That also with perfect kilometer area basically. That practically it seems to be very dangerous basically. Practically basically it is basically seems to be very magical